This morning, what happens if a person decides to take a job out in Northern Ontario, wants to be more in touch with the natural world, and they realize and they agreed to work for a month, $500 a week to work on this farm in Northern Ontario. After 2 weeks, they're like, I cannot handle it. It is isolated. It is freezing cold. I'm going nuts. I want to quit. The boss says you can't quit because I can't find somebody. It's going to take me a few days to find somebody. And when I do find somebody, the cost is going to be $525 a week. How much should the boss pay the worker for those 2 weeks if he insists on quitting after only working for 2 weeks? The rule is, you're not a slave. You're allowed to quit whenever you want. The question is, however, are you penalized? So the case that many people are familiar with is the Mishnah that says, quit whenever you want, find someone else to work, no problem. But when would you actually be in trouble? If it's davar haved, meaning if you have to go to a wedding, you don't show up, someo's just time sensitive. Or to go take out as the Mishnah says, to take out clothes from the marsh and dye them a different color. Or if you don't do it, they're going to get destroyed. In a case like that, you have to pay compensation. But the Ramah says, if you can find someone else to work, even if the value of labor were to go up, you're allowed to quit. However, if there isn't 100% elasticity in the supply and demand market, those of you that study economics know what that means, that you could easily, i.e., you quit today, a minute later I can find somebody else. That'd be a perfect supply and demand. But if there'd be a 3-day lag and the person's going to lose out, that's for 3 days, you want to have everyone in his farm, that's considered davar ha'aved. That's considered like you're costing the person something because you're quitting early, and you would be penalized because of it. And because of that, you, the worker, would only receive not $1,000, but he'd have to lose the additional amount of money that $50 that's going to cost. So we get paid $950. The question is, what about those days that the worker is missing out on? Because he's only, there's like a 3-day lag. The guy's only showing up on a Friday, let's say. So there's a bit of retroactive pay you deduct. You have to figure out what that loss would be for those few days. There's no number for that. It's too hard to figure out. But it would be $950 potentially minus whatever loss. Although the guy would save money, he's going to have to hire someone for those 3 days. But that you'd have to figure out exactly what that would come to. I believe that would be the correct answer for today's Wednesday WhatsApp question.